NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. Formed in 1948, it was for a time the most recognized brand and largest governing body in professional wrestling. Under the control of the NWA Board of Directors, consisting of various prominent regional promoters, the organization acted as a governing body for a national territory system which recognized one world champion. Its title, the NWA Title, has its lineage back to 1905, where competitors such as Frank Gotch and George Hackensch would battle to be named the very first pro wrestling champion of the world. Some of the greatest tag teams, the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, America's Most Wanted, the Road Warriors, Legends, Lou Thez, Buddy Rogers, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, AJ Styles, Ric Flair are some who held this championship. But what of the NWA now? What has happened to this once great and one-time king of pro wrestling promotions? Billy Corgan, rock legend, genius, a pro wrestling enthusiast who has taken upon him the task of resurrecting this once great organization. Can he? Will he? Or will the NWA vanish into obscurity forever? OneWrestling.com presents Big Slam Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special edition of Big Slam Nation. If you don't know who I am the Mark of the Master, the Man of the Plan, Big Ray, here to stay to talk some wrestling today. And ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by my two esteemed colleagues here at OneWrestling.com. First and foremost, let me introduce the one and the only, the magnanimous, the scholarly, quite handsome actually, the glorious Professor Anthony Quintana.
Who are you talking about? I don't know no Anthony Quintana.
What do you mean?
That dude is in Canada. What are you talking about? This is the glorious, magnanimous, illustrious, the scholarly Professor Chabela Vera Cruz here. Anthony Quintana is in Canada right now. He's running from the IRS. He's been audited for thousands and thousands of tax dollars. I don't know where he is, but you know, Billy Ray might know. I think he covered it on the Infinite Fringe, but I don't know where he is. He's gone.
Well, I got to be honest with you, buddy. If being on video, not that you're the Anthony Quintana that the IRS is looking for, I don't think it's a good idea that you kind of divulge all the information regarding your tax dollars, so on and so forth, buddy.
You know what it is? You know that word doppelganger? I am his doppelganger right now.
What's a doppelganger?
And I got to cheer for you.
What's that?
U-G-L-Y. Big Ray so ugly, I can't deny he's ugly. He's ugly. I don't know. I was just watching a commercial. I just like that song. Go ahead.
Do you feel bad because I roasted you on the Haters Ball?
What roast?
Oh, you haven't seen it yet.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you haven't seen it yet. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Not you.
You said Anthony Quintana. He might be. I don't know. But this is Chabela Vera Cruz. I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay. Wonderful. Anyway, and speaking of wonderful, I am joined by my co-host and also and by the way, Anthony Quintana, or this gentleman who looks a hell of a lot like Anthony Quintana, is a OneWrestling.com reporter and also one of the key members and founders of the PW Hustle podcast and video show over on YouTube. And also, where you guys have it? You guys still on Podbeam? You're not on Podbeam anymore, are you? No, no,
vaguely.
Okay. Very good. We are also joined by the founder, or one of the co-founders of the PW Hustle, OneWrestling.com senior reporter, and also the main man, the founder, this is the man, the founder of the Infinite Fringe podcast. Guys, if you think you know what's going on in this world, just so you know, there's been floating cities in China? Billy Ray Valentine. What's going on, Billy Ray Valentine?
What's going on? By the way, I just want to let everybody know that that's not the first time I've been called wonderful. I get called wonderful almost every single day by random people walking the street. It's just the way it is. I don't know who Anthony Quintana is. No idea. Never knew him. Not once. I know Chabela Vera Cruz. That guy I know, he's pretty wonderful. He is scholarly, he is magnanimous, and the whole deal. And glorious, Chabelo Villa Cruz. Nobody else by any other name. No idea who they are. Big Ray, what's up?
Nothing much, man. First and foremost, it's been a while since us three actually got together and did a video. And apparently Anthony Quintana paid his light bill this month.
Who? Who are you talking about?
I'm sorry.
We need to get away from that altogether. I have no idea who that person is. I never knew that person. I have never had any interactions with that person. I never hosted a show with that person. That person does not exist. It's the Professor Chabelo Villa Cruz or the Professor X, which one you want.
I'll just call him the Professor. It's been a while since myself, the Professor, and Billy Ray Valentine have come on this big Slam Nation forum. But listen, man, we got some news over the last couple of weeks, and it's pretty interesting. Me growing up as a wrestling fan in the early 80s into the 90s, so on and so forth, you know, the NWA was a big part of my childhood as a wrestling fan. And, you know, listen, everyone from Dusty Rhodes, like, if you guys actually, you know, watch the beginning part of this video, I gave a very brief history of the NWA World Heavyweight Title, which dates back to 1905, George Hackensch, so on and so forth. And, there is a possibility that this company, which has been in obscurity for the last, decade, may have a chance to come back to the forefront of professional wrestling. Now, we have two very, very intellectuals, I would say, in the world of professional wrestling, in the Professor X and Billy Ray Valentine, who are going to discuss both sides of this controversial and yet kind of exciting thing that may be happening with rock legend and genius, musical genius, I would say, Billy Corgan, lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins, formerly of TNA Impact Wrestling, formerly of multi-indie promotions here in the United States. Let me jump off really quickly first with you, Anthony Quintana. Oh, I'm sorry, Professor X, whoever the hell that guy is.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's codename. It's like the Army. It's a codename, Billy Ray. Don't worry about that.
What is this?
It's like a codename.
This is ridiculous. I thought I was brought on to this show today to debate Chabelo Villa Cruz. I don't know who this other person is that you keep mentioning, and quite frankly, if this is the case, I want to have absolutely nothing to do with this, and I will walk off this show right away. But if I'm here to debate Chabelo Villa Cruz, I will stick around.
All right, so you will be debating Chabelo Ella Fitzgerald over here, and that's fine. You're going to be debating this gentleman, Professor X, or whatever you would call him, and we're going to have basically the positives and negatives regarding this whole possible purchase of NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. And I wanted to jump over to Professor X. Give me some of your fondest memories of the NWA, and just kind of enlighten the fans. You being the scholarly, the magnanimous, the glorious Professor.
Very glorious.
Extremely glorious, by the way. Extremely glorious. Hold on. You have no idea how glorious he is.
Yeah, I really don't have any idea how glorious he is. It's almost hard to describe. I come short of the right words to describe the gloriousness that emanates from the Professor.
Just so you know, before Professor even speaks, the room that he's sitting in is so dark, but yet his gloriousness is lighting the background.
Professor doesn't pay for electricity ever. He's always sitting in the dark, but all the gloriousness that shines from his body allows the area around him
the aura
to have light. It's just the way it is.
All right. A lot of people start thinking we're all three of us are dating. So go ahead, Professor. Why don't you kick it off there, buddy?
Well, you know what? The three letters in wrestling that stood the test of time and had most prestige was the NWA back in the early 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. I mean, the NWA was the biggest territory, not only in America, but the world. I mean, that NWA World Heavyweight Championship was legitimately the World Heavyweight Championship. It went all over the world when they defended it. It was defended in Canada. It was defended in Puerto Rico, Mexico, Japan, the UK, and all points in between, even Antarctica, I think. I forget that match in Antarctica, but I don't know.
Something about a polar bear.
But I digress. Yeah, it was something with a polar bear, but I digress on that. But you get what I'm saying. This was the legitimate World Heavyweight Championship, and like you said, Big Ray, in that eloquent beginning, that video package that you had, you know, the names that wore that belt, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, the Funks, Briscoes, Lou Thesz, Harley Race. That is prestige personified right there. I mean, that's what I grew up with. And the NWA had great relationships in America with Florida, with the Grahams, in Mid-South, with the Jarretts and the Watts, in Texas with Fritz Von Erich. You could see how every promoter and every little company around the country needed that NWA legacy and that name to really solidify even their territories back in the day. So you could see, Big Ray, how important that was.
Absolutely, and Billy Ray Valentine, in the video package, I included a tag team as one of the greatest NWA tag teams, and you may not agree with me, but technically they were one of the greatest and longest reigning NWA tag team champions in America's Most Wanted. Also, I also included in some of the greats, America's Most Wanted. Don't play yourself.
You mean to, I never said that I didn't know who they were, if that's what you're alluding to. I'm just saying, out of all the tag teams that held those belts, you put America's Most Wanted in there as one of the most illustrious NWA tag team champions.
Abso-freaking-lutely. That is, again, my opinion. We can debate that as well, as if you wish. But I also
yours and yours alone, my friend.
But I also included AJ Styles in the video package as an NWA, as a great NWA champion. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, you can say that. I mean, even though it was in the latter days of the NWA title. Let's keep that in mind.
Well, let's talk about that really quickly, Billy Ray Valentine, and then we'll go over to Professor. You know, the NWA has been, well, I don't want to say the word pimped out, but has been used by various companies to kind of springboard their companies to another level. Let's use the whole Shane Douglas thing, where he basically took the NWA title and he threw it to the ground, proclaiming it the ECW, the Eastern Championship Wrestling. I don't know if you guys remember, they were fighting for the NWA title. He took the Eastern Championship Wrestling Championship and declared it the Extreme Championship Wrestling World Title. And then on top of that, don't forget, guys, the reason why I included teams like a team like America's Most Wanted, AJ Styles, is because NWA was affiliated with TNA, Total Nonstop Action, Impact Wrestling. What is that banging in the background? Who's fighting back there? Sounds like
I don't know, man.
Sounds like somebody's apartment is falling apart back there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, Billy Ray Valentine.
It's the IRS. It's the IRS.
Oh my God, are they coming in? Or is it Ben Hameen?
I don't know.
Is Ben Hameen looking for you? Anyway,
oh.
Billy Ray Valentine, your thoughts on the NWA being used by other companies? I mean, again, you have the ECW, you have Impact Wrestling. NWA has never gone away totally. I mean, why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Listen, this is what I want to talk about right now, okay? We went down a whole bunch of history. The professor detailed the history of the NWA so eloquently and so scholarly as he normally does. I mean, he went down the whole thing and detailed it better than anyone could. But let's talk about the real. Let's talk about the present. Let's talk about after Shane Douglas threw that title on the ground and called it RIP about, what, 25 years ago at this point, or maybe longer than that. I don't even remember. The NWA title has been put through the ringer. The NWA brand has been put through the ringer. It's not the same as it once was. How do we expect this promotion? Why would Billy Corgan buy the rights to a promotion that's RIP 25 years ago, declared by Shane Douglas? Why would he do this? And what are we expecting out of it? What are we expecting to get? How do we get that, the NWA, into a viable brand? What are we expecting from this? Are they going to challenge the WWE? That's not happening. That's out of the question. So if that's what you're looking for, you're done right off the bat from the beginning. Are they going to rival TNA, Impact Wrestling? That's not saying much. I'm sorry. Okay, if they ever make it to that level, maybe. But if it was up to me, I would have went a completely different route and not purchased the NWA and started my own company. That's just what Jeff Jarrett. That's just what Billy Corgan.
It's not what Jeff Jarrett's doing. And by the way, let's not forget that the NWA was actually used to kind of bolster and kind of also springboard the WCW. Because once the WCW, because technically the WCW was the NWA. Am I right, Professor? It was the NWA.
Well, that was back in the heyday of the NWA title, when the NWA was at its height, when it was Steamboat versus Ric Flair, when Dusty Rhodes carried it, when all these legendary names held that belt. Then what happened? The WCW went on its own and declared their own WCW championship. All right. Same thing happened with TNA. If you want to go that route, they went on their own and declared them their own title, the TNA title that hangs behind your back over there, Big Ray. They decided to get away from the NWA, and it seems as a lot of promotions use the NWA as a stepping stone. And once they got to the level that they wanted to get at, they abandoned the NWA.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the same question to the both of you. I'm going to start off with the Professor Anthony Quintana. Professor X, whoever that Anthony Quintana guy is. Here we go. I'm so sorry.
Increíble.
He looks just like the guy. I'm just saying, it is what it is.
I have no idea. He doesn't look anything like them. Nothing at all.
I know the guy for almost.
That's why that knocking came. I don't know why. Was it you, Ray? Are you snitching on me? What's going on?
No. But I swear, Ben Hameen we were supposed to have a meeting with Ben Hameen earlier today, and I don't know. He has something to do, and all of a sudden you have some ruckus going on in the background. Anyway. So, all right, but think about this. Anthony Quintana, I'm going to ask Billy Ray Valentine the same question. Don't you think it's smart now let's say this purchase finally goes through, because up to this date, today is 5/7/2017, nothing is exactly like signed, sealed, and delivered. It's a verbal agreement between Billy Corgan and the current owner of the NWA. The current owner of the NWA has gone on record by stating that Billy Corgan is the new owner. You even go to Wikipedia and it has Billy Corgan listed as the owner of the NWA. Now my question is this. I understand what Billy Ray Valentine is saying, but don't you think it's smart that you have a title that's lineage goes back to 1905? You can use that as a springboard platform. Just because it's the NWA doesn't mean it has to be the old NWA. It can be a new version of that. So do you think it's a smart thing? And I'm asking you gentlemen both the same question, Professor first. Do you think it's a smart thing for Billy Corgan to actually utilize the name NWA and kind of bolster whatever his ideas are moving forward into the world of professional wrestling or the wrestling universe?
In the wrestling business, it is one of the smartest moves that Billy Corgan can ever do. As Billy Ray eloquently said, that certain organizations use the NWA name as quote-unquote a stepping stone, but they had to use it. Eastern Championship Wrestling could not become extreme without using the NWA name and having a platform for people to take that little company seriously. TNA, aka Impact Wrestling, could not separate themselves into Impact Wrestling and being the global kind of company they're trying to be without having a relationship and without accepting that legacy of the NWA. A lot of these organizations in the independent scenes need that NWA legacy. Remember, Ray, that's what I'm talking about, the legacy. 1905, it still is one of the largest legacies in wrestling history, and if you use it, excuse me, if you use it as a marketing genius as Billy Corgan will, then the NWA will go into the heights that you'll never see. I mean, Billy Corgan is a wrestling genius. Not only that, he's a wrestling fan first and foremost, meaning that he has a passion to make this work. Billy Corgan, with his organization in Chicago, he made it work. He has a wrestling mind. Billy Corgan wanted to still be in the wrestling business with Impact Wrestling. He wanted to buy Impact Wrestling because he had a vision. So now he has something full. Well, Ray, can I confirm 100%? It's all his. No entanglements. No trickery here. No silent partners.
Well, there are no silent partners. Apparently, he did purchase, or right now they're working on him purchasing the entire company. Now, the only thing he will not have access to is any of the media. I'm talking about the video library, the video content, the pay-per-views of the past, so on and so forth. All he will be owning is the belts, the actual title, the rings, the logos, and pretty much, the talent, if he wishes to keep them.
Well, first and foremost, he will sell that legacy. He might not have the video library to back it up, but he can always sell the legacy. He can sell the names. He can sell the history. And that's the good thing right there, number one. Number two, with that history, you can bring in that talent. Billy Corgan can bring in the talent from all the other organizations if he has that talent relationship. You know, he didn't have a great relationship with Dixie Carter, but he can have a relationship with Impact Wrestling. He can have a relationship with Ring of Honor. He can have a relationship with Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and all those little companies in between. Talent relations, talent exchanges, and if you use the NWA name with that belt hanging, behind you on your left, it's gold, Jerry. It's gold.
It's gold. Well, Billy Ray, your retort.
Hey, listen, couple of things, right? Of course, Wikipedia is going to say that that Billy Corgan owns TNA. You want to know why? I mean, NWA. Because Billy Corgan owns the NWA. That's why Wikipedia says he does, dummy. Anyway, let's cross that off. Let's cross that off my list. All right, so to the belts, right? The belts and the prestige of the belt. You want to make an argument that the belt brings prestige and all that, and it goes back to 1905. No one cares. No one cares about that. The Intercontinental title, which is a very, very recent title. I think it came about in the 70s. It held all types of prestige. Look what's going on with it now. No one gives a damn. No one cares. The U.S. title, another one. No one gives a damn. When TNA separated themselves from the NWA, we said that the TNA needed the NWA in order to become what it was. Do we even remember? I know you guys do, but do we even remember that the NWA title was a part of TNA? Do we even remember that now? Do we even remember the history of ECW prior to Shane Douglas throwing that belt down? None of it. Wow. None of it. We remember ECW. We remember TNA.
I do. I remember Don Baraka was the first champion.
That's because you're the professor of professional wrestling, Chabelo Villacruz. We can't all hope to be like you. And this is what I'm trying to say here. This doesn't matter. None of that matters. Let me cross that off my list. What else we got here? Corgan and Vision. I'll leave that for later. And, okay. No, that's it. That's it pretty much. That's what I got here.
Okay, and I'm going to continue with Billy Ray, and then I'm going to go over to Professor now. We're going to go backwards here. And, all right, so back in the day, Eric Bischoff was to buy WCW. He had that company basically purchased. He had people funding him, so on and so forth, to purchase WCW. The only thing that Eric Bischoff didn't have, he had the titles, he had the rings, he had the talent, he had the logos, but he didn't have TV time. My question to you, gentlemen, is TV even important now in this day and age? And can Billy Corgan utilize some other type of, let's say, internet-based, let's say, streaming, whatever, program or whatever, to kind of bolster and kind of make NWA available to everyone all over the world? Billy Ray Valentine, is TV an important deal now?
No, TV is not important at all. Look what we're doing now. We're reaching tons of people over YouTube. We don't need to be on CBS. We don't need to be on ESPN. Look what's going down in ESPN right now. Look what's going down in Bristol, Connecticut. They're laying off people left and right. Cable companies are losing their collective crap because they don't know what to do, what's going on. There's all types of streaming services. Netflix is all the rage. Everything goes on Netflix. We got Hulu. We got all types of stuff. Twitter was carrying the NFL not too long ago. Now Amazon Prime is getting in the game. The NWA and Billy Corgan, if Billy Corgan is smart, and he is a smart man because he made Siamese Dream and because he made Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, and that's all I need to know. He's a very smart guy. So if he is as smart as he is musical, he will go those routes and completely abandon television because he doesn't need it. Most of millennials today don't even watch television. They watch the internet. Look at this guy, PewDiePie. That's his name, right?
What's that?
Some dude on YouTube that has millions of subscribers, and he's making a living off of it because I don't know what he does, but apparently people love him. There's tons of my kids watch this guy. I forget his name, Jake TDM or something. That he's a video gamer. He's a video gamer, and now he has movies. He has a movie deal with YouTube. This is where we're at right now. No, nobody needs television anymore, and that's a plus. And that's why I would have stayed away from the NWA altogether, because it's a remnant of the past. It is a fossil. We need the new. We need something new that he can provide to the millennials who are seeking that, and put it on YouTube, put it on Netflix, put it on Hulu, call up Amazon Prime or whoever else is willing to get into the streaming game and provide that content for them.
All right, Professor, your thoughts?
Can I retort hypothetically? Because
sure,
I understand,
absolutely.
I understand what Billy Ray is saying, and I actually agree with all of it. So really, I can't retort. But hypothetically, in the world of the Professor Chabelo Vera Cruz, what the NWA needs, and you say, can they use TV? And you talk about the millennials, Billy Ray. But there are hardcore fans that have given up watching wrestling after 2001 when the WWE won the wars against WCW. You know where the NWA could flourish on TV if in a perfect world? TBS, 6:05 Eastern Time on Saturday nights, where the NWA ruled for 20 plus years. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it could rule if TBS, TNT would want to go back in the wrestling game. But again, this is in the world of the Professor. I understand, Billy Ray. The reality is they're not going to do that. So what do? You go to the, what's that streaming service that all the other indies are using? Was it Flow?
Yeah, you're right.
Flow,
yeah.
Flow Slam?
Or how about, if I may interject, how about the Fight Network?
Well, I don't know if you want to have another wrestling company with
Why not?
that.
They have multiple MMA sites on MMA companies on that one, platform.
Well, you could do that, but
you know what else? The WWE Network. Aren't they looking for different organizations to bring on? They're talking to ROH, right? Why not have the NWA? They already own the NWA catalog, and you know what I mean?
Interesting.
So why not have the NWA on the WWE Network? I'm sure Billy Corgan will be willing to make that deal.
Professor, it's Professor's time, by the way, Billy Ray Valentine. You're interjecting.
I'm killing here. I am murdering right now. I'm on a roll.
Unbelievable.
This dude Chabelo, maybe you should go get that other guy that you kept talking about, because Chabelo Vera Cruz is not cutting a mustard right now.
Who, the Quintana guy? Whoever that may be.
That other dude that I don't know and I've never seen before.
Go ahead, Professor X. Why don't you...
The Quintana man will agree with Chabelo if, again, in a perfect world, TBS, they would rule on Saturday nights at 6:05. But again, you can use TV in this day and age, Billy Ray. It still can happen. I mean, El Rey Network has Lucha Underground. All you just need is to create a buzz. That's what Billy Corgan needs. That's what the NWA needs, a buzz. Just like Lucha Underground on El Rey Network, it's creating a little cult phenomenon buzz right there. And, of course, Pop TV with Impact Wrestling, a buzz. Sinclair Network has TV, and they have Ring of Honor. It creates a buzz and awareness. So TV, you still need TV to create a buzz and awareness. I dropped the mic. Billy Ray, your turn.
Okay, so let me just move. Let me just fast forward here a little bit. Now, with the NWA being what it is right now, the current NWA champion is a gentleman by the name of Tim Storm. If you're saying who, I don't blame you.
Who? We can do the New Day.
Yeah, let's not do that. The whole owl gimmick.
Hey, the Mothman was sighted in Chicago, people. Just to let you know.
Hey.
Three different sightings of the Mothman in Chicago.
What is the deal with that giant owl in Chicago? I was talking to Ben Hameen about that on the Impact Rebellion.
I covered it on the Infinite Fringe. It's going to drop later tonight. It's the Mothman. Mothman prophecies, okay? It's a moth. It's not an owl.
Okay, because everybody says it was a giant owl.
It looks like a giant butterfly / owl / reptilian. See, if you've ever seen the Mothman prophecies, it's that. That thing was spotted 3 times in Chicago.
Unbelievable.
Was it broken?
Well, broken moth? I don't know. Yeah. I didn't get to speak to them.
It was flying. It was like,
okay.
delete. Anyway, I'm sorry. It's stupid. With the current champion being Tim Storm right now, and a lot of people will not know who Tim Storm is, even though he is a veteran of professional wrestling. This is my issue, and I'm gonna jump to Billy Ray Valentine first. How do you, well, maybe Professor? No, I'm sorry, Professor first here. Professor, who is out there to kind of bolster, to be the figurehead of your company? I mean, you have Impact Wrestling, you have Ring of Honor, you have New Japan Pro Wrestling, you have the WWE, heck, you have Lucha Underground. Who is out there right now that could be the figurehead of your company for the next 5 years?
Well, right now, Billy Corgan doesn't need to have a figurehead right now. He just needs a crop of talent. Right there, you're saying with all those organizations, I know Ricochet is having a little bit of rumblings with Lucha Underground. You have people like Johnny Mundo. You have people like Ryback. You have people like Cody Rhodes. You have fundamental people that can make a core base. You don't need a person to be the figurehead just yet. You just need people just so this way people could say, oh, that's that guy from the WWE, or that's that guy from New Japan. If you get one of those guys into the NWA and create a good platform with good wrestling and good storylines, anything's possible, Ray. That's all you just need. You just need a fundamental core base.
Billy Ray, do you agree that you really don't need a superstar to kind of push off your organization? I mean, let me just use an example. WCW didn't take off until Hulk Hogan got there. Let's be real. The NWA, I'm sorry, Impact Wrestling, you know, they brought in guys like Ken Shamrock, notable names, Scott Hall, so on and so forth. Jeff Jarrett was on TV. Those are guys that people knew. Who is out there right now that can help this organization if Billy Corgan decided to go forward with this?
You know what? It doesn't really matter who's out there. I think they should go young and rebuild that way, or build a period. Well, I guess if you want to talk about rebuilding the NWA, then it is rebuilding. But you should go young. But if you really want to make an impact, if you really want to shake things up, right? Billy Corgan is from Chicago. It's very easy to pick up the phone and call up CM Punk and have him be the figurehead of the NWA. Very simple, right? Call him up, throw a bunch of money his way. CM Punk isn't doing anything but writing comic books at this point anyway, right? Everybody seems to love him. He can't do MMA because we know how that turned out. So
he's still training, Billy Ray. He's still training for that next fight.
Training, air quotes. Anyway, so you bring him in, right? And he can be the base of the NWA. But if that doesn't work out, you just go young. You start a training company. What is it? What do they call it? Like the power plant WCW had. ECW had one. Like an NXT of sorts, like the WWE has now. A feeding. You know, you train these talent. You develop the talent, bring them up, and start a whole new thing. You can sprinkle. I don't want Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes isn't going to make an impact. I don't want Johnny Mundo. Johnny Mundo's not going to make an impact. Or Ricochet, maybe. Okay, maybe. But these other guys, I don't want them in my NWA. Why would I want them in the NWA? You want them in the NWA as supporting characters, not as the main person.
Would you team up? And anybody could take this. Would you team up with an organization out of Chicago like Resistance Pro Wrestling?
Well, Resistance Pro Wrestling used to belong to Billy Corgan. I don't think he'll have anything to do with them since they had a falling out as it stands anyway. So no, he doesn't need them. He should team up with, I would go over to Japan and call up Dragon Gate ASAP. Be like, hey, listen, what do you guys want to do? Impact Wrestling is dealing with every other company. They're dealing with Noah and they're dealing with New Japan apparently. So I would go straight to Dragon Gate. I will go straight to Dramatic Dream Team. I will go straight to All Japan. Maybe I'll even go to Mexico and go to CMLL. They have a lot of talent there. And start doing that. That's what I would do, is start doing that type of talent exchange. The
CM Punk thing actually really interests me because you also have
Of course it interests you. Billy Ray just thought of this. That's why it's interesting. That's why.
I mean, you do have Chicago-based wrestlers like Jay Bradley and Cole Cabana and other guys that really have a definite name. I wonder why Cole Cabana never really got signed to a major organization. I mean, he worked
because
for WWE sometime.
Yeah, you know what?
Wait a minute. He was a former NWA World Champion too.
Oh,
yes, he was.
He was Matt Classic, wasn't he?
No, he was Cole Cabana, NWA World Champion.
That's right. No. Cole Cabana did go away from his comedic wrestling, and he went a little more serious when he took that title. Am I correct?
Him and Adam Pearce went in on it for a bit, and they actually, you know what? That's a good point, Professor. I don't normally agree with the professor, but that's a very good point. They actually brought it back to prominence not a prominence, but awareness for a second. The internet was kind of like, what's going on over there? Cole Cabana versus Adam Pearce. There were good matches for that NWA title. Yeah. That goes to show that good wrestling can still outshine storyline and everything else. Good wrestling. If you put on a good enough wrestling match, it'll make the headlines. Let's look at Ricochet and Will Ospreay. Some people might not call that wrestling, but it was innovative in that ring. There was no story being told outside of the ring. There was no type of storyline build, but the story inside the ring, the athleticism and the actual in-ring work took it to another level, and that's why they got noticed. So if the NWA can stick to something like that, hey, why don't they go sign a Will Ospreay? Will Ospreay's sitting out there. That's some guy I would invest in. I'll throw a bunch of money at Will. Go look at the British people over there. They got a ton of incredible professional wrestlers.
Interesting. And Anthony Catania, you have anything to add to that?
No.
Well, Well, no, Anthony doesn't have anything to add, but Chabella does. But anyway,
that guy.
You know, to take it one step further with Billy Ray's CM Punk reference, I think that Billy Corgan should centralize his operations. Again, in the perfect world, in the Chabella world, centralize the NWA in Chicago, kind of compete against Revolution Pro Wrestling, take that fan base who knew that Billy Corgan was passionate about wrestling, and, you can create that buzz right there. You can get the Colt Cabanas, you can get the Jay Bradleys, you can get a lot of Chicago-based wrestlers. If you centralize the NWA right now into a good wrestling city like Chicago is, again, that's a step up in the right direction. Number two, again, with the legacy of the NWA, Billy Ray even said, get a Will Ospreay, get Zack Sabre Jr., get the British people. Remember, the NWA's legacy of the belt, look at the belt right there. Slam Ice, look at that belt that Big Ray holds. There's a lot of flags on that belt on the sides, and the UK is one of them. Get a relationship with one of those places like ICW and Revolution Pro Wrestling. What's that other UK company? But you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Get those UK companies. Get those UK companies that are, the UK wrestling scene is up and popping right now.
It's hot.
So you gotta take advantage. And the NWA, again with the legacy, again with the history, if you make a partnership with the UK companies, it's again a good thing for Billy Corgan to do.
Might I just add, Professor X gets no points for that because that's my entire argument that he just regurgitated.
Very good.
I took the CM Punk argument and put it to the 10th power.
Billy Ray Valentine.
What's up?
Is this a race where, are you running the 100-mile dash, or is this more of a marathon if it comes to Billy Corgan?
Oh, you have to run the marathon, right? That's what it has to be. It can't be a 100-yard dash, because if it's that, you're not going to make it. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Little by little, you keep going. They shouldn't aim high. Not that they shouldn't aim high in the overall great scheme of things. They should aim to where they can right now. And that's the immediate future. They should look at the first flag, not the very last one. That's what they should be looking at. So you build until you get there, and then you shoot for the big flag when you can. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. They need to go slow here. So they can strike a deal with YouTube. I would watch this. Well, who wouldn't watch in the IWC, YWC? They have to cater to the base. We are the base, right? So that's what the WWE Network is trying to do. Cater to the, I want to say, 1 million people that will continue to buy into the product. That's the base that's willing to spend the money monthly on professional wrestling. So Billy Corgan can cater to that base and grow that base in that manner, and also cater to the people that are willing to buy New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan World. Those people want to see wrestling. People like me want to see wrestling. We don't necessarily want to see all the drama behind it. We just want to see the wrestling. So if you can find that perfect combination, you're off to the races after that.
Professor, Sprint? Do you try to get on TV? Do you try to get a big deal? Do you try to maybe instead of WWE signing, let's say, Ring of Honor, trying to work something out, to work with a Ring of Honor, and become a joint company? Do you rush it? Like I said, sprint or marathon?
Well, I would agree with Billy Ray. It is a marathon, but I would like to change the race into the what are those, relay races?
Relay races.
The 4-man relay
passing
races.
The baton.
Passing the baton. You got to be fast. You got to be quick on your feet and make some great, smart business decisions right away. The right people, the right, right TV deal or the right streaming deal. And of course, for the base fans, Billy Corgan has got to make a statement on the dirt sheets or on WrestleZone or with Bill Apter. And he's got to tell his base what is his plans, what does he want to do, because the fans need to know, because they're not going to just go pay their money. It's like, oh, I just got NWA. They need to know what is coming with the NWA plan and the product that's going to be presented to them, because if there's no plan and product in place, I as a consumer won't care. Okay. You got to have something, but that's why I said the relay race is good, but you got to pass that baton very quickly.
Interesting. Now, moving forward, now I want to have a little fun with you guys really quickly, and we're just going to take a break from this banter going back and forth. Now, let's
is it legal? I don't want to have that kind of fun.
Absolutely legal. This is OneWrestling.com, my friend. We're PG.
Okay.
This is not the Impact Rebellion with the infidel crusher Bin Hamin Ya Allah. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Bin
I hear the Impact Rebellion.
Sorry.
That's when you say fun. I don't want to,
Sorry about
kind of scared right now.
You know when you work with Bin Hamin so long, you start to act like him, and it's not good. I feel like crushing people all the time. Anyway, Billy Ray Valentine, just for fun, just who's your favorite best NWA tag team of all time? Top of your head.
All right. Okay. I would have to say, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Professor Chabelo Vela Cruz.
Whoa!
You correct me.
Am I right? It is. He does look like the guy.
No.
It's a doppelganger. It's a doppelganger.
Here's the deal. When you hang out with Big Ray long enough, you start to act like him. You start doing the same thing. So I keep getting people's names wrong because that's what Big Ray does. You get what I'm saying? So that was Ray rubbing off on me. Please don't do that anymore.
That's what she said.
And I apologize, Chabelo Vela Cruz, for that nonsense. I have no idea who that other person is. No idea whatsoever.
I know I'm not crazy.
I've never had a show with that person. I've never gone to wrestling shows with that person. I've never had dialogues and great debates with that person. It's never happened, ever. It's never happened. It's never happened before. It'll never happen again.
Fake news.
It's fake news. It's fake. It's alternative facts. There is no Anthony Quintana. It doesn't work. It doesn't happen, okay? Chabelo Vela Cruz is big league. He is big league. Anyway.
Time out. So, I was going to start from the bottom to the top with each one of you guys. Right up, I need you guys to rapid fire this. So don't give me any breakdown synopsis, whatever the right word is.
All right.
Ready?
Okay, my favorite.
Best. I'm gonna start right here. Best TV champion, NWA. Go.
Hey, you asked me.
Best TV champion. Go.
Arn Anderson.
Best United States champion. Go.
Nikita Koloff.
Okay. Best tag team.
The Freebirds.
Really? Okay. Best NWA World Champion.
Get the hell out of here. Ric Flair. No, the Freebirds are the greatest.
Hold on.
Greatest. You just didn't have half the swag that the Freebirds have in the 80s, so you were hating. You wanted to be just like the Freebirds. You wanted to have the crazy hair and the spandex pants and the glitter all over yourself, and you wanted guys to go like this when you came around, and that never happened.
Okay,
so you're hating on the Freebirds.
Backstreet Atlanta G8 Backstreet. Anyway, Professor, greatest television champion.
Okay. Tully Blanchard.
Agreed. You get a point. Greatest United States champion.
Hey, first off, you didn't say this was for points. I would have never said Nikita Koloff if this was for points.
He said Nikita Koloff.
This is collusion.
Greatest United States champion.
Lex Luger.
Agreed.
Yeah, Lex Luger.
Point two. Greatest tag team.
The Freebirds.
Midnight Express.
Ooh, very good.
Everybody knows that the Rock and Roll Express beat the living trash out of the Midnight Express. So that answer's wrong off the bat. Okay?
Greatest NWA World Heavyweight Champion of all time.
I already won.
Well, since he already said Ric Flair, Harley Race.
Ooh, that's tough. All right, this is a throw-in, guys. Greatest United States Tag Team Champions. Anyone?
I'll say the Steiner brothers, since we're gonna go that route about points, and you actually have to get things right here. Fine, the Steiner brothers, the greatest U.S. Tag Team Champions. They beat the Freebirds for it.
Professor?
Barry Windham and Ron Garvin.
Ooh, what?
I can't believe I remembered that, to be honest with you.
Does anybody remember who were the first 6-man tag team champions in NWA?
Go ahead, Prof. It's all you, brother.
I don't remember the first. I just remember the most consistent. Wait a minute. It's going to be a trick. It's got to be a trick. It's either the Russians or Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors. Damn. I'll go with the Russians.
The funny thing is I don't know either.
No, okay.
I just threw it out there. I think it was.
I just know the most consistent ones.
I think it was Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors. Didn't they fight was it the Freebirds? Anyway, I don't think it really matters. I'm sure. Listen, guys, leave your comments here below, onewrestling.com.
Wait a minute, Ray.
What's that?
You forgot to ask who is the greatest Western States Heritage champion.
Oh my God! Who is the greatest Western States Heritage champion?
Barry Windham. My goodness.
Who's the greatest Florida States heavyweight champion? Ha
Oh, that's a tie between Mike Rotundo and Rick Steiner.
I would say Rick Steiner. I would say Rick Steiner's the greatest.
Hey, let's talk before we hang up. Let's talk about some notable NWA champions, right? Let's talk about the Great Muta, who captured that belt. I forget where. Barry Windham also. Ric Flair, of course, we love Ric Flair, but the Great Muta, okay, and it hasn't been matched since until right now that a person of Japanese descent has had such an impact on professional wrestling until what is it? Shinsuke Nakamura. He's the one that can finally eclipse the Great Muta and come over here and win the WWE Championship. But the Great Muta came over to the United States. Well, actually, he was made in the United States, but he won the NWA title, big time, big league.
That's a big. So you know, I'm gonna actually fast forward here to this question because we're almost done here with the questions here, and this is kind of a debate. I mean, I guess you guys here at onewrestling.com / One Wrestling video on YouTube, you guys can leave your comments below to see who you kind of side with. I would say, what would you say that Billy Ray Valentine? Let me ask you a question really quickly.
What's up?
Do you think that this company has a chance at making it at all? Even with Billy Corgan, is Billy Corgan genius enough to bring this company to a point where they can compete with not a WWE, but with an Impact Wrestling, a Ring of Honor? Well, Ring of Honor is going to be probably on the WWE Network, but an Impact Wrestling, Lucha Underground, so on and so forth.
Yeah, sure. All jokes aside, right? Definitely they have a chance at making it. And yeah, if we were talking with Professor Chabelo Villacruz and A-Track Brown before about what we would have done, and if we had the money and we were multimillionaires like Billy Corgan, we would have purchased the NWA too. All right, we would have definitely purchased the NWA. I might have purchased them just to have the belt in my living room. And when Big Ray walks in, he's like, "Hey, is that the NWA World Title?" I'm like, "Yeah, that is the NWA World Title." Awesome. The one that everyone carried is standing right. I mean, it's sitting right there next to me. Like, you can hold it for 5 minutes and then you got to put it back. Like that, just for that. So Billy Corgan is doing something that every wrestling fan wanted to do, to quote my brother A-Track Brown. He's doing something that, and that's what Billy Corgan is, right, Prof? He is the ultimate wrestling fan. And I hate people that say that wrestling fans don't know about wrestling because they're only fans. When you're a 30-year veteran of this, and that's what I am, Professor is more than that, Big Ray is more than that. At least 30 years veteran in the game of watching professional wrestling, you learn a thing or two. And I'm pretty sure that Billy Corgan can do what's right for the NWA. Can they make it to a level of Impact Wrestling? Of course they can, 100%. I'm looking bigger. I want them to make it to a level past the WWE. I know that's crazy. But that can be done. Maybe they sell the company to Disney or something like that at one point. That can happen.
All right, what do you think, Professor?
Anything's possible in the world of professional wrestling, number one. I mean, Billy Corgan is like Wile E. Coyote. He's a super genius.
That's my name.
Who? You? I thought you was wonderful. I thought you was the wonderful Billy Ray Valentine.
I'm the wonderful Billy Ray Valentine. I'm Billy Ray 3K. I'm the handsome panda. I am the super genius Wile E. Coyote.
Oh, okay. But Billy Corgan.
Okay.
A lot of nicknames. But he's a super genius. No, just jokingly. But he is a passionate fan. He's a fan that's going to respect the NWA, number one. And he's going to, put the funds and try to get the right people. He's got Dave Lagana, a man he could trust on his side to make some good business ventures, to have some good TV deals or streaming deals, and also to have talent relations with other companies and even just independent wrestlers themselves to give them a platform. And once you get a platform, all the wrestlers will come. That's all you have to offer. If you offer a platform, then the wrestlers do their thing in the ring. Anything's possible.
If you build it, they will come.
Billy Ray.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Greatest NWA manager.
Man, and I was telling this to Prof the other day as well. I am a WWE guy because not necessarily because of the nature of the wrestling, just because I'm from New York, and that's what we had. So I caught sprinkles of the NWA, and then they came on as WCW on, I want to say, Channel 11 late night over here in New York City. So I used to catch some of that, but I gotta go, and this might be with lack of the proper knowledge. I'm gonna take Paul Ellering, because he's the one I remember the most, walking down with the Legion of Doom. What a tag team, right? The Legion of Doom, legendary tag team from the NWA. The Steiner brothers, another legendary tag team from the NWA. And I remember these cats. What's their name?
Hold on, Billy Ray. You said Legion of Doom?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because you said that the greatest tag team champions of all time were the Freebirds.
I love that. That's my favorite tag team from the NWA era. And I got to say, that's my favorite tag team after the fact. I didn't get them when I was young. I was like, oh, I hate these guys. But now I'm like, oh my God, they were amazing.
They
man.
did, and
so good.
And they were very edgy with the whole Confederate flag gimmick on their face, so on and so forth.
But you know what? And that's been overblown if we want to be politically correct about the thing.
Not really.
Like back then, no one really cared about that. Leonard Skinner, who was one of the greatest bands of all time, would rock that flag all over the nation, and it wasn't an issue. Then it got turned into an issue now, but let's not get political.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, I mean,
that's my name.
So Paul Ellering, Professor, who's the greatest manager in the NWA?
A lot of people would say James J. Dillon because of his association with the Four Horsemen, but I have to go with Jim Cornette. I think his chemistry with the Midnight Express, his fuse that
Rock and Roll Express,
and Rock and Roll Express, his fuse with the Road Warriors, Rock and Roll Express, Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, America's Team. You needed a foil, and Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express was the perfect chemistry, the perfect foil for all the the baby faces out there. So I'm going with Jim Cornette and the NWA.
Hey, does Paul Heyman qualify?
I was gonna say Paulie Dangerously, the Dangerous Alliance, so on and so forth, moving forward, because WCW was the NWA. Let's just be real, and he was there during the NWA days. But I guess
Then I gotta go with James Vanderberg too. Whatever.
Oh, stop it. See, I'm glad that you mentioned Jim Cornette. Is this Professor first and then Billy Ray second? Is this somebody you bring in as a figurehead to the NWA?
No, you bring him in as a consultant, or maybe just like a booker behind the scenes. Have him behind the scenes, just so this way people could, he has still good knowledge of the wrestling business. You don't need him to be on TV. He's been there, done that. Just be behind the scenes. Just like the WWE has the Performance Center with all the people from the past that just come there to like mold the young talent, the young kids there. You do that with Jim Cornette too. Just mold the young talent or whoever they bring in. That's what I would do. Keep them behind the scenes.
Billy Ray?
No, I wouldn't bring him in as you could bring him in as talent. I think the guy could cut a promo like nobody's business, so you can bring him in as talent. But let's look at the history of Jim Cornette with ROH. That didn't go very well. Last time he was in WWE, that didn't go very well. We want to get away from that. We can get new ideas. Let's go get Ben Hameen, right? Let's give him a job. Big Ray, you could get a job. Hey, Billy Ray Valentine is available, okay? And I will take you to new heights. I'll tell you that much. All right, we don't need a Jim Cornette. If you're gonna bring in a Jim Cornette as a manager, I'm with it. If you're gonna have him cut promos on people, I'm with it. But backstage booking and all that other stuff, I don't know. I'm not with it.
All right, so listen, guys. We went through the ringer here with pretty much everything. Like I said, there's not a ton of news. This is kind of fantasy booking if you think about it, because the T's haven't been crossed, the I's haven't been dotted yet. But me personally, as a wrestling fan, and by the way, I'm gonna go through my gamut here. Greatest television champion of all time, I agree with you, Professor. I think it's Tully Blanchard. Greatest United States champion, in my opinion, was Magnum TA. Greatest tag team champions of all time, in my opinion, the Road Warriors. And the greatest world heavyweight champion, in my opinion, absolutely Billy Ray Valentine. I agree with you, the Nature Boy. The Nature Boy! Ric Flair! Woo! Anyway, is that better? Am I getting better?
Nah.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, nah. But it still has charm, Ray.
Thank you.
So keep doing it.
I'm a charming panda bear. No, I can't be a panda bear. Polar bear? You're the panda
Polar
bear.
bear's fine. Yes, all right, fine.
All right, so who wants to have the closing thoughts first?
I'll let, since I won, I'll let the loser go first. Professor Chabelo Villacruz, go ahead, take the stage graciously as the number 2.
Well, since I won,
and pay homage to the man. All right, since we're doing NWA, even though he said that in WWE, go ahead.
Since I won hands down easily, this debate was just no contest. I was, I didn't even break a sweat on this one. Anyway, the NWA, you know what? Again, history, legacy, lineage, 1905, George Hackensch. I know a lot of people don't know this, but you know what, hardcore wrestling fans, there's a need for this. There's a need for this because people are sick and tired of seeing how the WWE has, is ruling the television world. The ratings are down. You need variety, and that's what the NWA will provide. With that history and that legacy, they will provide a variety to, for people to have good wrestling. And I'm not saying go back to the basics of wrestling because, the evolution of wrestling has been more athletically done, more gifted with these athletes like a Will Ospreay, type of wrestler, a Ricochet type of wrestler. So you have to go they have to go with the times. And one thing I will say this, the NWA, Billy Corgan has got to not, fall into the trappings of the traditions of the NWA. You don't need a committee saying, they need a 9-vote committee saying who's going to be the heavyweight champion. Billy Corgan says, Tim Storm is my man to rule the NWA, then by God damn it, Tim Storm's the man who's going to lead the NWA to 2017 and beyond. But it's got to be Billy Corgan to make all those kind of decisions there.
Billy Ray.
It's going to be interesting to see what Billy Corgan even does with this because it's so new, it's so fresh. We don't even have all the details of what's going to go on, what he plans to do with the NWA. But he did bring Dave Lagana along with him, so he must be planning something. I am cautiously optimistic about the prospects of a new NWA. I think he keeps the belt to keep the prestige about it, and that's very cool. I think he's going to bring all new talent in. Let's see what happens down the road here with this organization and with Billy Corgan. Let's see. It's a waiting game right now, but I'd have done the exact same thing, Billy. So good for you.
All right, and I'm going to close out by.
I feel more confident with Billy Corgan doing something with the NWA than I did with Jeff Jarrett doing something with Global Force. I ain't going into that. I just wanted to say that.
And I'm going to ask you guys a quick one. Greatest person to photograph NWA wrestling.
Come on, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. It's not Anthony Quintana. It's definitely not that guy. Absolutely not. It has to be the legendary, the iconic, the one and only, the sole survivor, Bill Apter. Has to be, hands down. I win the debate just based on that. It's over. There's no way you can come back at this point. That is the tombstone. Done. Over.
The funny thing is, guys, that this is supposed to be more of a debate, but I've seen you guys actually kind of agreeing on one major thing.
No. Here's the way it went. Big Ray. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Okay. It wasn't agreeing. It was Billy Ray going first, laying out the obvious, and the Professor Chabelo Villacruz piggybacking on that in order to save face. Let's be real. That's what happened. Go ahead, Big Ray.
What I was saying was that it's supposed to be a debate, but I found you guys actually agreeing on a lot of things. And one thing we can agree on is that I think we all want NWA to succeed, whether it's with Billy Corgan, without Billy Corgan, just, for fans that are within the demographic of 30s into their 50s, 60s, 70s. I mean, this was a part of our childhood growing up. And to see another organization perhaps rise up, Jeff Jarrett, even though people make fun of him, he did say that this was going to be a golden age for professional wrestling again. The golden age, I don't know, but I do like a lot of what I'm seeing now, in that there are different organizations. There's a lot. Impact Wrestling is always in the news. Lucha Underground is in the news. The WWE is in the news. You go on, ROH is in the news. New Japan is in the news. I mean, if you want professional wrestling, there are multiple alternatives moving forward. So I would safely say that I would love to see the NWA succeed. Fans over at OneWrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestling video, give us a follow at One Wrestling, but tweet me directly at Big Ray Show. Again, Billy Ray Valentine at OB1, you know me, and the professor, well, it's your name on Twitter, so I think you're using the alias Professor Anthony Quintana at PROFPW Hustle.
There is no Professor Anthony Quintana on Twitter.
His name is on the Twitter thing.
It's not. It's so not.
It's just PROFPW Hustle.
Whatever.
Yeah. This guy, what is it with you and him?
It is what it is. He looks just like him. Anyway.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Listen, guys, I wanted to thank you guys for joining me here. Again, listen, fans, really, leave your comments here below. I want to hear what your thoughts are regarding this whole Billy Corgan thing, or just the NWA in general, guys. I think it's all safe to say that we would love it to succeed. Is there anything you want to promote, Professor, before we move on?
You can follow the Professor Chabela Cruz on Twitter at PROFPW Hustle, a.k.a. Professor PW Hustle. And always follow me on the PW Hustle Networks on YouTube for the glorious, magnanimous, illustrious Professor Perspectives.
All right, Billy Ray Valentine.
All right, thank you for having me on, Big Ray, Professor Chabelo Villa Cruz. I appreciate you very much. My name is Billy Ray Valentine. You can follow me on Twitter at OB1. You know me. You can also check me over at the PW Hustle. All right, with the Professor Chabelo Villa Cruz and 8-Track Brown, the dirtiest of the city. And be sure to catch the Infinite Fringe on Podbean, the Infinite Fringe on iTunes. We drop a show over there just about every Sunday. We're going to drop one right now. As soon as we get off of here, it's all about conspiracy / politics / real talk. # stay woke. God bless you all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, you can follow us here at OneWrestling.com, YouTube / One Wrestling Video. Follow the iconic, the legendary Bill Apter. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it's Wrestling Fixed. I didn't know it was broken. You can purchase that anywhere you buy books, especially on Amazon.com. I don't know if you guys got that. Got a good look at that. Very nice book. I have it all signed and everything like that. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me also on WrestleZone Radio along with my tag team partner, Ben Hameen. But also, guys, again, go to www.benhameen.com for Hameen's Hardcore Happy Hour. And guess what? They're going to be a plethora of other shows. I think the PW Hustle will be working with him. Is that right?
I heard that. I heard that too. I think I got to check in with some people about it, but that's what I heard. I heard it's going to happen.
I heard BenHameen.com is going to be amazing with guys like Dancing Stevie Richards giving them original content. Guys like amazing, handsome, big men like Big Ray are going to be working with BenHameen.com. It's true. Oh, so true. You have no idea how true it is. And that's going to be my new gimmick, just so you know that, Billy Ray Valentine. But anyway. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure here. I always say this, I would do this for a living, but if I couldn't, I'd do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling, and I love talking with you guys here at OneWrestling.com. So again, guys, please hit us up. Leave your comments here below, guys. Subscribe here to One Wrestling Video on YouTube. Subscribe to, join us on Twitter, so on and so forth. I don't know, is there anything else to say, guys?
If any of you fools out there in the IWC, YWC want to debate the man, want to debate the Sheik of professional wrestling debating, Billy Ray Valentine, you come on and do it, and I will break your back and I'll make you humble, just like I just did to the Professor Chabelo Villa Cruz, just like I've done to Big Ray on several different occasions, just like I do to 8-Track Brown on in everyday life. I smack him over the head and tell him how to live. You know, anybody want to come? That's open to anyone. Fame Black. That's open to anyone in any podcast, anywhere in the world. You want to debate me? Come on and do it. You're gonna lose. You know that. Just come on.
You know what? This may be a series.
A series.
I think, guys, what do you think out there, OneWrestling.com? Maybe monthly, we have a monthly debate, and you can debate either the Professor, you can debate maybe Billy Ray Valentine, you can debate any one of the fans here. Oh, we're fans. Well, we are fans, but the
listeners of what?
Wait. No. We don't want to lose subscribers here, Big Ray. You know what? We don't want to make them feel little and less of a human being than they will already be to lose.
Like a challenge.
Okay? I want subscribers. I want them.
Anyway. I want to make people feel small all the time. Debate the Panda on OneWrestling.com. We're going to go with that. That's the show.
Listen, guys, in the words of the legendary Bill Apter, we'll see you at the matches. In the words of our brother, Bill Schuyler, who we love and we miss, we'll see you, guys.
Down the road.
Down the road.
Down the road.
Down the road.
Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us for this OneWrestling.com special. Guys, please share it on social media. Let us know what you think. See if you want us to do some more of this stuff here. Thank you so much, guys. Peace out.
All right.